Hi guys, it's Bria and welcome to my channel. So if you've never seen a video of mine, what's up? I'm Bria and I am a seasonal worker. A lot of my videos are about seasonal work and traveling. As a seasonal worker, what I do is I kind of travel all over the country doing different hospitality related jobs at resorts, ski resorts, lodges, stuff like that. And I stay anywhere from 4 to 6 months, and then I like head to another place somewhere within the country. I'm so sorry. I hope you can't hear the people outside. I really want to film today, so I'm hoping that it gets a little bit quieter. But if that's something that it sounds interesting to you, then I would encourage you to subscribe. If you like this video at the end of the video, then give it a like. That'd be much appreciated. So really quickly, before we get into today's topic, I want to first thank and welcome all the new subscribers. I believe we're a little bit over 500 right now, so much appreciated, guys. Almost 1,000. Got it. Okay, so I'm going to make it in the timeline where you can skip ahead if you don't want to hear this part. I am going to be giving a bit of a update about my job prospects. So currently I'm in West Glacier, Montana. I'll be here until October 16th, and then I have to find another place to go to. Like I'm actively, anxiously looking for another place to go. And right now I have nothing is definitive right now, and it's like I'm stress right now is what I feel. I have like 3 pending situation type deals going on right now. So I have a place that I've applied to. It's a little bit of a shaky situation with them. It's in Idaho. It's a year-round position because I'm kind of looking for a year-round spot right now. And, you know, just because of wanting healthcare and benefits and to make more money. So a place in Idaho is one of the options that's kind of just up in the air right now. I applied to the Four Seasons in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which I had an interview about. I had an interview for that one, but I'm not sure how that one's gonna go. I'm kind of worried about how expensive it is to be in that area. The job comes with a housing allowance, but I don't think it's going to be enough to make that place livable for me. And then I'm waiting to hear back about maybe doing a second or third interview. So there's that. And then the last place is actually a seasonal job in Park City, Utah, which location-wise is my first pick. But I wish I could have a full-time. I wish I could be offered a full-time job with them though. So that's that. I live alone, so I can drink out of the jug if I want to. So now that we're done with that, I'll update you guys, of course, as I figure things out. I'm trying not to panic too much, but panicking is happening a little bit at least. So yeah. Okay, so I have a lot of things that we need to go over in order to talk about how much I spent in my 2 weeks in Spain. So if you're unaware, I did go to Barcelona and Granada at the end of March into the first week of April. Spent 2 weeks in total, and I'm gonna be telling you guys what I bought, what I spent, and we're gonna be going through all of it. What we're going to do, I have like lots and lots and lots of notes here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna split this into 5 categories. So transportation, accommodations, food, attraction, and necessary extras. And necessary extras will make sense in a bit. So just to jump right into it, with transportation, I did fly to Barcelona, round trip from Houston. The price was $533.57 for the round trip ticket. And I only took a carry-on. I did not pay for checked baggage. I did already have a travel credit with American Airlines that I received from like last November when I gave up my seat to take a later flight, and I received like $450 in a travel credit. So flight round trip to Barcelona from Houston was $533.57. I had a travel credit of $450. So out of pocket, don't know why I said it like that. Out of pocket, I spent $83.57 for the round trip flight. In addition to that flight, I also did buy a round trip ticket with Vueling Airlines. It's a little domestic airline. Oh my god. It's a little domestic airline, and I flew from Barcelona to Granada round trip, and that was $70 in total. Okay, so total for airlines for the transportation side of things is $153.57. Now, if I hadn't have had that travel credit, then my total for the airlines would be $603.57. So the travel credit was something real helpful, because I don't even know if I really could have afforded to go. Actually, I know I would not have been able to go if I didn't have that travel credit. I'm gonna be real with you about that. So yes. Okay, so in the transportation side of this, I also ended up buying the Ola Barcelona card. The Ola Barcelona card. Oh. That's better. The Ola Barcelona card is a transport card that is geared towards tourists. I actually would not recommend you get that unless you are actually planning on doing a lot of traveling within Barcelona and outside of Barcelona, because it only is worth it if you are traveling a lot and using that card a lot. If not, you're not really going to get your money's worth. But I ended up buying a 5-day transport card, and that was $34.38. Also, I didn't realize that the bus that I decided to take from the airport on day one was not a bus that was included in my transport card. So I actually spent $6.52 to get from the airport to the central area of Barcelona. So lesson learned. Also, when I got to Granada, the bus ticket to get to my hostel in Granada, and from the airport to my hostel in Granada and then back again, total for the bus ticket was $7.10. And if I haven't mentioned it already, all of these prices are in USD. And then I took a bus plus a metro ticket from the airport in Barcelona when I returned from Granada. That was $7.94. I got another Ola Barcelona card, this time for 3 days instead of 5, for $23.73. After the 3 days, I still had maybe a day or two left, but I didn't want to buy an Ola Barcelona card for a third time. So I ended up buying 2 single metro tickets for $2.94. Is that a 7 or a 2? Okay, yep, that's a 7. So $7.94 for 2 metro tickets. And then my last bus ride from the central area in Barcelona to the airport on my last day was $7.80. So broken down and factoring in my travel credit that helped for my flights portion of this section, my total spent on transportation was that a 4 or a 9? Does that add up? Oh my god, why am I writing so terribly? Yeah, 248.98. So total for transportation spent is 248.98. All right. If I hadn't had the travel credit, I'd have been looking at like 698.98. So yeah, travel credit, nice. All right, so the next portion I want to talk about real quick is accommodations. So I tend to cheap out on accommodations, and like I'm not gonna like get into a unsafe area or anything like that. But I tend to stay at hostels for the most part. But this time around, I mean, I kind of wanted to stay in a hotel. So Barcelona is really good about having a good amount of like boutique hotels. So I actually didn't spend all that much. So for the first, for the first 5 nights, so I stayed 2 weeks in total in Spain. For the first 5 nights, I stayed in Barcelona at Practique Garden, which is a boutique hotel, and they have like different versions of this, like different ones are all around the city. I really enjoyed the hotel. I would highly recommend it. It's a pretty quiet area, pretty quiet little hotel, very clean rooms. Overall, I don't regret choosing the hotel, but I know I could have made my trip even cheaper had I have just stayed at a hostel the whole time. But I enjoyed the hotel. So for 5 nights, it was $450.17, and I know I got a pretty good rate because I actually booked the hotel like in advance. Like I think I booked the hotel like in January or something like that, which for most people is not in advance. A lot of people will like actually plan and pay and book their flights like 6 months in advance, but I don't really do that because I don't be knowing where I'm gonna be in 6 months, honestly. Like, you gotta know where you're gonna be in 6 months to be booking stuff like 6 months out. Anyway, so after the hotel, I did leave on the 29th of March and fly to Granada. And I stayed in Granada for 3 nights in a hostel. Highly recommend this hostel. I really enjoyed this place. And what's the name? Toc Hostel. It's called Toc Hostel in Granada. Toc Hostel and Suites. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. I showed you guys in one of the videos. Very nice hostel. I would, if you ever end up in Granada, I would totally say go and stay there. Very nice place. So that was $107.49 for Toc Hostel. For the last hostel, I stayed at Rodaman Hostel in Barcelona, and it's one of the places I regret staying at the most because it was just like not very comfortable. The beds were very rickety. Altogether, wasn't a very warm, welcoming place. It felt like the place was not intended to be a place where you like hang out and have conversations and meet people. And I think it's because it's in a residential area, so there's a lot of emphasis on like quiet hours and like just like they're not trying to facilitate loud like interactions and stuff. So I don't know, I really didn't like it that much. It wasn't a very comfortable stay. So I stayed there for the rest of the time, which means 5, 6, 7, 8. I stayed there for a long time, which makes it worse that it's the place I like the least, but I stayed there the longest. So I ended up staying there for 5 or 6 nights, and that came out to be $182.49 for that. So total for accommodations is $740.50. $15. Okay. And also, like, I'd love to hear, are you guys like surprised at some of these prices? Are you surprised and are like, oh my god, girl, you barely spent anything, like, wow, that's amazing? Or are you surprised like, oh my god, you spent so much money? Let me know in the comments. So with food, the only opportunity I did have to like cook food was in the last hostel I stayed at, for the 5 or 6 nights. But I don't like cooking. I don't enjoy it. It does not bring me pleasure. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't bring me joy. And I'm definitely not going to cook on vacation. So I ate out for mini meals. And it all came out to be $448.82. I don't know if that's really a lot per se, because I feel like I don't eat as much as I should. And personally, like, food, I'll eat, like, like for 1 or 2 meals I'll go to like a nice place, but for the most part I'm just trying to get decent food, good food, you know, at an affordable price. So like, there were a couple times where I had fast food. Like, I think it's kind of fun actually to go to like McDonald's or somewhere like in another country. It's really interesting. So I think I went to McDonald's once in Barcelona, and I went to Burger King in Granada, which was kind of ratchet, I will say. It was a very ratchet Burger King. But yeah, total, I also went to a Korean spot, which I think it's so funny that I did that. But yeah, $448.82. I find that the food was good, and it wasn't so expensive. I feel like you definitely can find cheaper meals in Barcelona. Like, I know that there's this whole thing, Menu del Dia. Unfortunately, this is the only photo that I can find with the little sign that says Menu del Dia, and it's like off in the corner. I really didn't get a good picture of it. I wasn't really trying to get a picture of it. I just so happened to have it in this photo. But please do not go to this restaurant. I did not like this restaurant. It's very much a trap for tourists, because sometimes there'll be a guy out there like trying to get people to come in, and that is a huge red flag that it is catering to tourists, and it is not really good food. So don't go to this restaurant, but you can kind of see in the corner the whole Menu del Dia sign there. Yeah, that's it. Okay. In Barcelona, where you can go to like the Gothic quarter, and you're able to, like, outside of the doors for the restaurant, some of them you'll see like little signs that'll say Menu del Dia, and it'll be like a 3-course meal for like 10, 12, 15 euros. So that's pretty, like, that's a pretty good deal, like a 3-course meal. So there are ways to get, you know, like cheaper meals and stuff. So we're also going to talk about now like attractions. So attractions tends to be something that I spend little money on, because you can always find free things to do. I did a free Sanderman walking tour, which I would 1000% recommend. It was so informative. The tour guide was personable, and just like really fun to like listen to and talk to, and it is free, and then at the end of the tour you can tip whatever you feel comfortable tipping, and so that was a great experience, free. Barcelona does have free museum days, and some museums you can get in for free after like 3 or 4 or something like that, and so I actually took advantage of those. Museo Catalunya was one place I went to, and I went there like after 4 or something, and I got in for free. So I would look into those things, but what I did spend money on as far as attractions are concerned, Get Your Guide is a website where you can like book tours and different events that you can do in different places. Events, is that the right word? You can book different tours and activities, and it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a third party. I booked the, oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna really butcher this, Montserrat's the monastery visit with lunch. Money well spent for the most part, I will say. It was $77. Yeah, it was $77. And the reason why I booked that is that going to the monastery is a very popular one-day activity trip, what do you want to call it. However, it's kind of something that you have to buy different things to do it. So you have to like buy the ticket to either take a train to get to the monastery. You take a train, and then you take the oh my god, words are so hard. So basically you like have to take the train to that area, and then you have to buy a ticket for the cable car or whatever way you want to get up to the monastery, and then there's like a ticket for the monastery, and it's a lot. So I decided to just like book a whole like group like tour thing, which was a pretty good idea because I met some pretty cool people. We ended up having a light lunch afterwards. Really cute local place that I would have never found because it's like in the freaking mountains. But light lunch with lots of nice wine, and just talking to people from all over the place. Very fun. 1000% recommended. Yep. So another place that I went to was Alhambra in Granada. One of the reasons I went to Granada. And the entrance fee for that was $15. Also, at the monastery, there is a museum that you can pay to go into, which was $8.66. I'm gonna butcher this too. Park Güell. G-U-E-L-L. Güell. Yeah. So very popular place in Barcelona. So of course, like, you can't look up Barcelona without looking up Antoni Gaudi himself. Yeah. Very popular architect. Very important to like culture in the area. You can't like move a muscle without being next to the place that he designed. And Park Güell is that, it's that picture you see when you look up Barcelona with the bench and like the tile, mosaic tiles, and the little skyline. That's in Park Güell. Very nice place to go, but it's very much a tourist thing. Most of the park is just kind of like meh, and everybody's just going to see that one area with the fountain and the reptile thingies and the little weird gingerbread looking houses. Yeah, and they charge you, it was $11.52 to go in there and see that. Can't say I regret it, but it was kind of expensive, I guess, for what it was. A lot of the buildings that Gaudi designed, and like, he's an architect, right? So architects don't just design things, right? Confucian, I don't know. It's not my area of expertise. But another place of his is Vicence. It's gonna be on the screen. I can't. And I went there with someone I met at the hostel I stayed in, and it was like one of the places that was less well known, so it was a lot less crowded, which was nice, but it was expensive at $19.42 just to get in. They didn't even give me a tote bag or anything, or a pencil. It's $19.52, and all I've got is pictures to show. Last thing is, when I was in Granada, I did see flamingo dance. To get into the event, you had to, like, your ticket also, it got you in, but it also got you like a drink or something like that. I was like, okay, sis, you know, that ended up being $23.44. All right, so total for attractions was $155.24. Okay, so last section is necessary extras. So necessary extras is two things. So I ended up buying an Esim for data so that I could like be able to use Google Maps and stuff. And I used this app called Airalo. I literally bought it while I was in the airport. It took like seconds. And so I ended up spending $36 altogether to have data while I was abroad. Highly recommend that. It's very easy, the eSIMs. Also, I did end up buying travel insurance. Okay, so travel insurance, I'll have to link it down below when I find it. Because I know that the company was called TIN Leg. Very strange. But I know that I use one of those like companies that compiles like a list of like the best travel insurance. And I'll link that website below because I can't remember what it is and I didn't write it down. But that for the travel insurance for 2 weeks was $52. So the total for unnecessary extras is $88. So, okay, total. So, drum roll, please. All right, so the total that I spent was $1,681.19 for transportation, accommodations, attractions, food, and the extras. If you are looking to use this to kind of figure out like what you can end up spending for yourself, the price for all of this, not including the travel credit. So if you're assuming that I didn't use the travel credit, you know, taking the travel credit out, if I had to pay for the entire round trip flight from Houston to Barcelona without the help of the travel credit, my total would have then been $2,131.19. I hope that maths because math is not my strong suit, and so I believe I did all that math correctly. Ways that I could have done that better, or have been even more like cheap with this trip, is I could have stayed in the hostel for the entire stay. For the entire 2 weeks I could have stayed in the hostel. It would have drastically brought down the price by at least, you know, $200, if not more than that, if not like $300. Also, again, like, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but the Ola Barcelona card, I would not have bought that. I really think that they got me on that one. They got me. Yeah, anything, I'm kind of leery of anything just for tourists, because I feel like they're trying to like get you on that, oh, you don't know any better? Honey, this is for tourists. That's you tourist. You be tourist. So take that card, it's gonna help you. You need that. And then I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm a tourist. I'll take that. And then they're secretly like, oh my God, we just took all of her monies. Whatever. But yeah, I don't think I was necessarily surprised by anything here. I think I did pretty good, all things considering. And then like the only things I don't think I added to this list was like souvenirs. And then I think so. I don't think I spent that much in souvenirs because I don't be getting everybody and their mama stuff. Like I don't do that kind of stuff because me and my little carry-on, we gotta make it back to Houston. So I don't get little souvenirs for everybody. Usually just immediate family. Usually, but also I'm on a budget, so. So I think I spent probably like $35 on souvenirs for my immediate family. And by immediate family, I mean like mom, sisters, that kind of thing. Like it's not like a ton of people. Y'all gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's so cheap. She got her whole immediate family souvenirs for only $35. But it was like 4 people, so. And then I know for a fact I bought 2 things. I bought 2 things that were unnecessary extras. So I bought Ice Bear. Absolutely no regrets. Also, I bought a lipstick that I really do regret buying from Sephora that I don't wear because it makes me look like a pasty patty. Does not compliment my skin tone at all. And I don't use it, so. But yeah, I don't really buy a lot of extras when I'm vacationing because when you're flying with just a carry-on, it really restricts how much extra you can buy. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be, frankly, editing purposes. So like, let me know, like, are you surprised by any of these prices? Like, are you surprised in the negative way, like, oh my god girl, you spent too much money, or in the positive, like, oh my god, you really budgeted that well, you really did that thing well. I book things, you know, probably at most 3 months out. Like I said, because I don't know where I'm going to be 6 months out, really. So I don't really book that far in advance. But I usually can get good prices for flights because I usually only travel in the spring or the fall. I leave the summer to teachers and students. I don't, you know. But yeah, of course, like this video if you've liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.